Hello, everyone, and many thanks for joining this stream. News update from Moscow. Today is 4th of July. Now it's 11 o'clock in the morning, Moscow time, and I have prepared quite a number of news on some major developments, and hopefully you will find this episode informative and useful. Before I start news segment, I will just remind you that after news, I will be engaged with the chat, short community chat, let's say. And also, dear friends, let me remind you that this Sunday I will make first fundraising stream, as I spoke about it yesterday. And well, I hope it will work out. I hope it will work out because yet again, this project exists only as long as I have community support to stay focused full time on this work. That's being said, dear friends, let's start the stream, the news segment itself. As I said, a lot of news, and in case, dear friends, you have not seen yesterday's second news update that I published on YouTube and Rumble, please check that video. It's a walk and talk video. I went, in the city here in Moscow yesterday. I was making extra content for Patreon and Boosty community, and I published on YouTube and Rumble a short part of it. Overall video is over 15 minutes, and I just published some news segment, and I'm not going to repeat all of the news from that update. So if you have time, check that video. It's a walk and talk, so you will receive information, and same time you can see some areas of Moscow. It's wonderful, by the way. You're gonna love it. So okay, that's being said, let's start this stream. And first of all, this report from RIA Novosti that air defense systems on duty intercepted 48 Ukrainian drones overnight. But unfortunately, not all drones were intercepted, not 100% of it. And we have a report this morning that drones attacked Sergiev Posad, urban district of the Moscow region. Wonderful city, by the way, Sergiev Posad is for our Patreon and Boosty communities. I did made a video from Sergiev Posad, from monastery complex, unique monastery complex, by the way, there. And the Western-backed terrorist regime targeted this city. So we have this report on that drones attacked the Sergiev Posad urban district of the Moscow region, and the initial report was that one civilian was injured as a result of this attack, but later, little late this morning, this information was updated, and now we have information that at least two civilians were injured as a result of this attack. I can show you some videos of that attack. Let me just find it for you. So this is one footage.
Обалдеть, вот летит. Летит.
You can see the drone is flying over town and then targeting one area. And also we have another video on that.
Тихо.
And obviously, these attacks are done by NATO, by the way. Formally, it's Kiev regime, but in reality, flight path targeting data for these drones and drones themselves are provided by NATO. So this is NATO attacks, NATO-Ukraine combined attacks. And, well, they're going to pay a heavy price for these crimes that they are committing against Russia. Time will come for that, for sure. As I said, at least two civilians were injured as a result of these attacks. Later on today, maybe we will receive some update, and of course, I will share additional information on my Telegram and Twitter X page. When it comes to intercepted drones, as I already mentioned, 48 drones were intercepted by air defense systems. 26 drones were shut down over the territory of Rostov region. And unfortunately, some drones did manage to bypass air defense in Rostov direction also. And this morning I saw videos from one of the villages where a residential area was targeted, and residential apartments and vehicles were damaged and destroyed as a result of this. Yet another war crime that was committed by Kiev regime. 12 drones were intercepted over the Kursk region, 6 drones over the Belgorod region, 3 drones over Oryol region, and 1 drone over the Lipetsk region. As I said many times before, dear friends, even best air defense systems on this planet that Russia has and produces, not always capable to take down 100% of the aerial targets. Even tiny Israel, by the way, with their tremendous investments in air defense systems, are unable to basically keep 100% of success rate. It's just technically not possible. So therefore, time to time, some drones are managing to bypass air defenses, which is unfortunate, but that's the reality of the life. RIA Novosti is also reporting that overnight, Russian armed forces also launched long-range precise strike on military and logistical infrastructure of the Western-backed terrorist regime of Zelensky. We have this report on that from RIA Novosti that Russian military struck air defense systems and the warehouses in the Kiev region. Nikolaev underground coordinator Sergei Lebedev told the RIA Novosti, and it was not just Kiev and the Kiev region. Other areas were also were military and logistical infrastructure targeted. And in brief, I can give you information that there was a strikes in the Kiev, as I said, in the Kiev region, a series of explosions in Zhuliany airport area, by the way, in Kiev. Also, there was arrivals, let's say, in Pavlograd, Dnipropetrovsk region, Chernigov region, and the Sumy region. Also in Kharkov, there was explosions. I can show you some videos on that. And well, these strikes, by the way, were quite effective because smoke from these explosions, these fires that began on the point of Russian strikes, were so powerful that Kiev is still experiencing some smoke, right? Let me show you some footage. Also, let me give you this video. That's the smoke that I'm talking about. Video is made this morning. And on internet, many photos are published about the consequences of Russian strikes. And for example, probably some of you or some members of our community have seen this picture. For example, you can see areas that were targeted. There are most likely Russian armed forces quite successfully neutralized Kiev regime's munition depots, air defense systems, potentially Patriot battery, and I guess fuel depots were also neutralized. So successful operation on part of Russian militaries. And this morning, dear friends, reports were coming in about also strikes in Kramatorsk. And I can give you this video from Kramatorsk.
Неплохо.
A short clip that depicts, aftermath of their explosion. Looks like it was a missile strike, not a drone strike, but possibly Iskander M strike on one of their military facilities of Kiev regime in Kramatorsk city, which is temporarily occupied by Western-backed terrorist regime of Zelensky, but not for long. Not for long. Let's continue with some other news now, and we have this report from Vzгляд, a newspaper, that Kiev regime used a suicide bomber to conduct targeted assassination of a former mayor of Lugansk. So report is that the explosion that killed former Lugansk leader Manolis Pilavov was carried out by the woman. A source in their operational services reported, according to preliminary data, Pilavov was killed by the female suicide bomber. So, as you can see, dear friends, Kiev regime is adopting all the terrorist means that terrorist organizations are using worldwide. Suicide bombings, car bombings, and so on. Right? And when I say this is a terrorist regime, I mean hardly anybody who has at least some information, some knowledge about that regime has any doubts on that I am correct. It's a terrorist regime, by the way. And unfortunately, there is a high risk that more and more terrorist attacks will take place from Kiev regime and its NATO backers, first of all, UK, by the way, because terrorism is a trademark of British secret services, US secret services, of course, and the British secret services that have, much longer history of terror in this world than US secret services, because US only exists just a little over 2 centuries, right? And UK was, or British Empire was terrorizing people worldwide for many, many centuries, right? Also, let me give you this report, dear friends, that Prime Minister of Hungary, Viktor Orban, once again is making quite strong statements in regards to this terrorist regime in Kiev. We have this report that I shared also on my Telegram and Twitter X page, that Ukraine has launched their intelligence activities in Hungary to influence the parliamentary elections of 2026. Prime Minister Orban stated, according to him, the goal of this move is to bring a pro-Ukrainian government to power that will approve Kiev's accession to EU and probably will support the idea of Kiev regime joining NATO. And Orban went a bit soft on Kiev regime, even though being critical, because Hungary is definitely one of the primary targets of Ukrainian terrorists, right? And Orban and all the other politicians, public figures in Hungary that are not obeying orders of the globalists and are not assisting this Western-backed terrorist regime of Zelensky, they all are targets. They all have targets on their back. And I'm afraid Hungary and Slovakia will, and a number of other European countries, by the way, will experience Ukrainian terrorism big time. It's just seems absolutely inevitable. So they should be very careful. They should be very careful, and security services of Hungary, Slovakia, and a number of other European countries should pay significant time and attention to all the threats that Zelensky's regime is generating. This is not a joke. I mean, they all are target for Ukrainian Nazis and the terrorists. And when it comes to attacks on Hungary, by the way, it's not just a Kiev regime, but obviously globalists want to shut down voices from Budapest. And for example, according to Political, Denmark pushes, which is absolutely controlled, 100% controlled by globalists, by the way, right? So Denmark pushes to suspend Hungary's EU voting rights. And most likely, in upcoming several months, Brussels will go ahead to suspend voting rights of Hungary and maybe even Slovakia. This is clearly possibility because they may love to talk about democracy and pluralism, freedom of speech, and so on, but in reality, they don't believe in any of it, right? And they hate when someone has different opinion or different reading of their big picture, like leadership of Hungary and Slovakia does right now, isn't it? And they are constantly attacking these countries and political leadership of these countries. In case of Prime Minister of Slovakia, I mean, Roberto Fico was almost killed, by the way, barely survived assassination, right? And there was several attempts. And Viktor Orban also survived assassination attempts, according to reports that I see here. There was attempts on his life too. So Brussels and the globalists, by the way, globalist-controlled regimes, they are trying to shut the voice of these two countries. That's what globalists are, man. That's what globalists do. Hello, everyone. I hope you find informative and useful this short clip from main news update. And if so, please click that like button and leave some commentary just about anything. It might help to deal with the algorithm and reach wider audience. And if you like my work in general and want to support to save this media project, you can assist through several ways. You can donate to this project through PayPal platform or Boosty, also with the crypto currencies, or you can subscribe to my Patreon page and page on Boosty, where I have quite a lot of extra content on regular basis. All the links are on this video in description box and in the pinned comment. And of course, many thanks to everyone who already helped and continues to support. Thank you.